to be our first video Zoom type interaction. This is basically for anybody that is interested or want to learn about Central Asia, and we will be giving out presentations for each republic. And if you don't know each republic, that's okay. We'll go over all of them. Feel free, if you guys do have any questions, you can either put it on the chat or interrupt us however you want. We will have a we'll go through the slides and videos first, and then towards the end, you guys can share, hop on, whatever you guys want to do, or just ask questions if needed. So I hope you guys enjoy the presentations.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Central Asian Student Organization event today. And this is Dilnaza, the advisor of Central Asian Student Organization of the University of Wyoming. Thank you, Dee, for introducing CASA. CASA has been active for 6 years on campus, and we have been doing various events, and this is our actually first virtual event to talk about and answer your question. Ask us anything about Central Asia and join our organization. We will be happy to talk about each country separately. Our representatives are ready to help you to know about the education system, if you would like to travel, or if you would like just to learn about the culture and everything about each country. So today we're going to start with this event. During this event, you will learn about Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Turkmenistan. All those 5 countries are considered Central Asia. They are located in a beautiful, amazing area. You will watch the videos, enjoy, just relax. And at the end, you're welcome to ask us any questions. So with that, we're going to start with Uzbekistan. Dee, floors are yours. And I would like to, before we start, to introduce a couple of guests. We have representative from Uzbekistan, from the Embassy of Uzbekistan in the United States and Canada. And our guest, Mr. Akhrar Burhanov, who can you share a couple of things about yourself? He's here.
Thank you very much, Dilnaza, for inviting me to this event. And I really applaud all the participants of this student association and your interest in bringing Central Asia topic at Wyoming and broadcasting it via Zoom. And I'm really enthusiastic about learning more about what you know about Central Asia and how you're going to present. As a representative of Embassy, I would like to congratulate you all with this wonderful event. And if you will have any questions regarding Uzbekistan part, I'd be really happy at the end to answer to all your concerns and questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Burhanov. You're very active. We appreciate you helping us and listening to our student club, and always be ready for our, requests. So all of you, Mrs. President, Mrs. Vice President, please meet our representative from Uzbek Embassy, get to know them. They were supposed to come this year for Nowruz, but unfortunately we didn't celebrate. But here you go, we are on the virtual event. So we also have another representative from Kazakh Embassy, Alibi Bayturin. If you're here, you're welcome to, present yourself when we will be talking about Kazakhstan. With that, Dee, floor is yours. Let's go. Uzbekistan.
Hi guys, once again, we'll be talking about Uzbekistan first, and then we'll continue on talking about all the other Central Asian countries. So with that being said, let's begin by watching a video. Here are some photos of Uzbekistan. You kind of saw the videos of kind of like the traditional Uzbeks enjoying their land. They're very proudful people. With that being said, Uzbek is one of the republics. As you can tell, it's kind of located surrounded by 5 landlocked countries: Kazakhstan to the north, Kyrgyzstan to the northeast, Tajikistan from the southeast, Afghanistan to the south, and Turkmenistan to the southwest. So the capital of Uzbekistan is Tashkent. The current president, sorry if I stutter this, Shavkat Mir. In the Uzbek land mass or area is 447,400 square kilometers. And it's the 56th largest country in the world. And the population has grown a lot in the past couple of decades and has approximately 34 million people. And then there's more pictures of Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan means kind of the home of the free, taken from the Kirkuk, use self. Kirkuk has kind of like master, it means master or obey in the terms of Turkish. Stan means the land of, so most of the countries end with Stan, so it means like the land of the Uzbeks, land of the Kazakhs, land of the Tajiks. It's very similar to all of them. And then further in, we're going to talk about kind of their educational system. It's not at all similar to the American version of their educational system. They don't really have like a set schedule where we have kindergarten, middle school, elementary school, and high school, and from there we go to universities. They kind of have a different way of systematically organizing what type of grade you are, and it's based off of 9 years of education, and then from there you can go on to the universities and get your master's or even PhD, and we can go over that later today.
Okay, thank you, Dee, for learning about Uzbekistan and representing Uzbekistan. I just wanted to mention that Uzbekistan has got a beautiful history. We went through all Silk Road. If you ever wanted to visit Uzbekistan, you probably will see all the ancient cities like Samarkand, Bukhara, Khiva, and the capital is Tashkent. So now Tashkent became a very modern, beautiful city that people probably will not recognize if you have been in Uzbekistan or in Tashkent 20 or 30 years before. Tashkent has been changing a lot and going through a lot. Lots of foreigners are coming. Tourism is developed. Everything is working well. Even visas getting easy. So you can apply online and you can visit up to, I think it's 30 days. Am I right, Mr. Burhanov? If I made a mistake, please, you can clarify.
Yeah, if you allow me, I will make some additions to this presentation.
Perfect. Yes. So, and then the language is Uzbek. We just have been celebrating Uzbek Language Day to commemorate October 21, and we have been doing a big events virtually, both in the country, students, professors, all the institutions, all the country was celebrating this beautiful language day. So with that, I want to give maybe the floor to Mr. Burhanov. He can add his additions.
Thank you very much. First of all, thank you very much for Dee to make a presentation on Uzbekistan. And I would like to make some adjustments to the presentation. First of all, our president's surname is Mirziyoyev. It's not Mir. So it's a president elected in 2016, Mr. Shavkat Mirziyoyev. He served as a prime minister before that since 2003. And he is the one who's making drastic changes and reforms in Uzbekistan, opening up to the world. Over the last 3-4 years, Uzbekistan made a visa-free regime from 30 countries to 90 countries nowadays. So most of the countries in the world, they can freely visit Uzbekistan without visa. But unfortunately, US is not on the list because of reciprocity process. It's very hard to get a US visa for Uzbek citizens, and we cannot make it free for US citizens to come to Uzbekistan without visa. But we're also working on this. For most of the people coming to Uzbekistan, tourists, they can freely visit Uzbekistan during 30-day period. For the neighboring countries, it's very extended, up to half a year, without any kind of documentation needed. And also, population of Uzbekistan is increasing, and it reached over 34 million from the presentation. And I also wanted to a little bit stop on the educational systems that they mentioned. There are differences and similarities in comparison to the United States system. I would say there is also a division in Uzbek, primary schools into elementary school, junior schools, and high schools. We used to have 9-year schooling in some part of our history, but currently we have 11 years of schooling in Uzbekistan. It starts from 1st grade to 11th grade, and after that, after finishing 11th year of education, you are eligible to apply for the universities in Uzbekistan. We have 2 types of universities currently in Uzbekistan. State universities, it's like for instance Ohio State, like public universities, and also we have private and international universities in Uzbekistan. Over the years, we increased number of international university campuses in Uzbekistan from 1 in 2002 to currently to more than 20. We opened first foreign university in Uzbekistan opened was Westminster University in Tashkent. It's a UK-based university, and last year we made a first American university branch open in Uzbekistan. It's Webster University, open in Tashkent city. And it's good news is that they made a good success, and they get a very good demand for their education. And now we have some plans to open another campus in Fergana region of Uzbekistan. So we are developing on education sphere too. And as Dilnoza said, Uzbekistan is a country of changing fast, radical, both in terms of educational opportunities and also in terms of economy and growth. It was named as top 5 safest country in the world for tourists, fastest growing country in the world. It was country of the year called by Economist and CNN. It's included top 50 destinations of the world by New York Times. and it's number one destination by Lonely Planet in Asia. So there are many things happened. Unfortunately, pandemic made its drastic role in changing everything. We introduced a lot of lockdowns. Unfortunately, a number of tourists decreased drastically last year. If we, over the 3 years from 2017 till 2019, we increased number of international tourists to Uzbekistan 3 times, from 2.5 million to 7 million. This year, because of pandemic, we had only about 1.5 million tourists, but we didn't waste the time during pandemic. We built new resorts, new capacities and capabilities in Uzbekistan to host more people next year. So I wouldn't go far beyond. If you will have any questions afterwards, I will be very happy to address in specific areas that you are interested in. And once again, thank you very much for your wonderful presentation, Dee, and wish success for other participants with their presentations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Burhanov, for your addition. I think it would be great. So just to make clarification, the students just prepared what they know. And here we are, all experts from our countries, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, and Tajikistan, who make addition. Ladies and gentlemen, don't be offended. We just want to make sure that when you get the information, you get clarifications. But good job learning about totally new country and new culture. It's amazing. And thank you for all your amazing work you have been doing on campus. Thank you. With that, I think we have another presentation about Kazakhstan.
Hello, I'm Mary, and I will present Kazakhstan today. Let's start. Kazakhstan is world's largest landlocked country. It has 2,700,000 square kilometers, and as you can see, it is bordering with Russia, China, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan. The capital is Nur Sultan. You also can know it as Almaty, and population is more than 18 million. The official language is Kazakh and Russian, and it has several ethnic groups like Kazakhs, Russians, Uzbeks, Ukrainians, Tatars, Germans, and other nations. The religion is mostly Muslims, 70%, and the 26% is Christians. Let's watch a video about the Kazakhstan. Okay, let's continue and talk about educational system. It is very similar with what this says about Uzbekistan. It's starting from kindergarten, when kids can go from 5 to 6 year old, and then it's primary school, which runs from 1 to 5 years, and the books, textbooks, and all the materials the kid needs, it's all free. Uh, then there is lower secondary school, which runs from 5 to 9th grade, and usually kids finishing it by 15-year-old, and then they can go to higher secondary schools. Uh, After graduating, you can go to the college or universities, and state can provide the cost of education from the budget. And finally, the yurt. The word yurt can be translated as the homeland, fatherland, or even people there. Yurts are homes from some Kazakh people. They are very easy to construct and transport with help of camel or horse. In Kazakh culture, the yurt represents a certain model of the concept of the universe. That's why the entrance of the yurt is to the south. Also, it helps them to see what time is it based on the sun. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed the presentation and it was informative for you.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you so much for putting your knowledge into the PowerPoint and talk about it. Thank you.
All right, hi, I'm the Vice President of Central Asian Students Association, and I'm gonna be talking to you guys about Tajikistan today.
And then I think we have Tajik from Tajikistan, Jamshid, who would like to welcome you, greet you all. Is he here? It's gone. He said, Hush amade. Assalamu alaikum. Hush amade.
All right, so Tajikistan has a population of 9.1 million. It's located surrounded by Afghanistan, China, Kyrgyzstan, and Uzbekistan. Yeah, all of those 4 countries that we already went over, but and here's the video that I have. If it's gonna play.
There is no sound. I think we lost the sound. Michelle, we lost the sound.
hope you enjoyed that. All right, the official language is Tajiki, and also the other common language spoken is Russian. Tajikistan's educational system. Students in Tajikistan will complete 4 years of primary school, followed by 2 stages of secondary school. The first stage of secondary school lasts 5 years, and then the second stage lasts 2 years. Attendance is mandatory from age 7 to 17. And then this is kind of what I got off website is there are an impressive number of tertiary education institutions in Tajikistan. One of the larger and oldest ones in Kurgan State University, I think I pronounced that right. That was established in 1932. There are 76 departments and in 15 faculties, which include mathematics, physics, and engineering, art and graphics, cybernetics, foreign languages, management and computer technology institute, Russian philology, Uzbek philology, education and teaching, Tajik philology, Oriental languages, natural sciences, history, finance, and market economy and art. The university is beginning to move forward again. So it seems like a pretty interesting education system compared to, you know, the United States one. So. And then one interesting fact that I found about this country is that it has the greatest potential with hydroelectric power worldwide. So most of the electricity is hydroelectric there. And that's all.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for trying to look what was interesting to you. And I just wanted to correct, it's Hojand State University. It's one of the biggest, largest university in Tajikistan. And it's great to know that, you know, they actually provide and help learning different languages, Central Asian languages as well, like Uzbek philology, Russian philology. So they do practice Russian and Tajiki language in the home country. And as you know, I just wanted to make a connection. In Uzbekistan, cities like Samarkand, Bukhara, they also use Tajik as one of their languages. So, but it doesn't mean that people will understand each other if Tajiki from Tajikistan meet Samarkand Tajiks or like Bukhara Tajiks, but there could be dialects, different dialects. So thank you.
Thank you.
Next.
Hi guys, I'm back again. I will be going to talk about Turkmenistan. Kyrgyzstan. Sorry. And so let me.
Did you guys pass Tajikistan?
You are welcome to join and make suggestions and corrections.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jamshid.
Assalamu alaikum. Dee, can you let Jamshid present?
Alaikum salam wa khushum.
Yeah, go right ahead.
How are you, Dilnoza? It's been a long time.
Thank you so much. Everyone is listening to you.
In this little town of Wyoming, Dilnoza is from Uzbekistan and I'm from Tajikistan.
We became brothers and sisters, yes.
Yeah, right. Well, really beautiful slide, by the way. There's a lot to add to it, but good thing she mentioned mountains, right?
Yes. Yeah, there were a lot of mountains in that video.
Impressive, right? Actually, Tajikistan, the east part of Tajikistan is called Pamir. And the mountain peaks over there are actually called the peak of the world. So when you travel to Tajikistan, you get to visit 80%, 60 to 80% of the Pamir mountain peaks. That's an interesting fact to know about Tajikistan. Also, people are very nice. We have a lot of people from Uzbekistan. You know, we got people from in the south of Tajikistan. You have people from Afghanistan, and we have dishes from different cultures, such as Uzbek dishes. A lot of them, and people speak multiple languages. English is becoming a thing as well. So if you speak Russian, Tajik, or English, you won't have any problem communicating with people in Dushanbe. So that is another thing to point out. And you get to visit beautiful lakes. We have actually over 900 rivers in my country. So it's filled with water and minerals and all cool places such as hot springs, volcano sites, um, Soviet construction, Soviet uh, constructions that were left after the breakup of Soviet Union, places like people would go for tourism, like recreational places. We have those as well. We have a lot of museums of great scholars such as Rudaki. We have Maulano's tomb in Tajikistan as well. Um, yeah, and we have a lot of mountains with gemstones, and we have a lot of hiking places to go, uh, a lot of fishing to do. We basically have a lot of nature things that you guys can come, and you guys can get to see snow leopard, which is very rarest animal in the world, and you also get to see Marco Polo sheep, which is also rare and very exciting thing to hunt for hunters. Anything else I can add to this?
Jamshid, could you add about your president and about the capital of Tajikistan?
Our president is Emomali Rahmon. He's been ruling my country for almost 28 years. And did you say about the capital city?
Yes, the capital of Tajikistan.
The capital of Tajikistan is Dushanbe, which basically means Monday. In the past, based on what I've been told, it used to be a bazaar. Like on that day, I think on Monday, people used to go grocery shopping there. It was like a trade place, basically. And then it turned into a capital of my country, which basically means Monday, Dushanbe.
Any things about educational system you want to add, or you want to clarify?
Well, education system is currently getting better and better, I would say. Not really impressive so far, but we are trying. We're trying to advance our knowledge, look beyond the horizon, and increase the scope of our knowledge as much as we can by traveling, by visiting places, learning languages. Basically, I'm not saying we're doing bad. We're slowly getting there, slowly taking step by step. Education system. There are still some things to work on, but I'm sure it will come pretty soon in this coming years.
Thank you so much for being honest. And I think that's what our students and who are watching us right now are interested in learning about those countries so that they don't have any cultural shock. So thank you so much. Adi, Michelle, and Mary, being from totally different country, you guys tried to look on your own and nobody supervised you because we wanted to see what you can come up with. Will you get the right information? Will you find the right information in today's globalized world in the 21st century on this internet? You can find about anything and everything, and it can be true, but it cannot be true. So we're here to clarify things, help you to understand more about those countries, and just make you to visit this beautiful country. We have actually a little nice song here in a little bit after our presentation that unites us all in Russian. So we're going to dance all together. Okay, so next, please, Dee, your turn.
Hi, I just wanted to clarify with everyone. I am actually Kazakh, and just to let you guys know, when Mary mentioned the new capital, they actually changed the name just recently. Last year, it was Astana. And so that's why if people are confused, they've never heard of that name, it is most recent information, just to clarify on that end. Yeah, let's begin. Let me share you guys my screen.
All right. Beautiful, nice video from Netflix about Kyrgyzstan, which was very interesting.
Yeah, it's surprising. Kyrgyzstan is not a very well-known or popular country versus Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. I think those are the two main dominant republics. Correct me if I'm wrong, but those are probably just because of their size and their way of connecting to the world is a lot easier, and they're more of a developing or developmental countries that have established their own republic much faster.
Little clarification here. I wouldn't say that it's not much famous. It is famous, actually. The first American university was built in Bishkek.
Right. I was gonna say that they are growing.
Yes, they're growing, they're growing. But I think in the meaning of Wyoming, we never had any student from Kyrgyzstan. That's why it was hard for us to promote and talk about Kyrgyzstan. But it's beautiful country with, you know, beautiful people there. Although there are lots of changes. Actually, Kyrgyzstan is more developed in the meaning of democracy. They are going through, but they have challenges. There are challenges as well. Good.
So I guess we can begin. This is kind of I'll describe why I put this in. But yeah, let's begin. So Kyrgyzstan is right, it borders between Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and China, and you can see a little bit of Tajikistan right below. And the capital is Bishkek. And then the land itself is populated by 6.56 million people. It kind of had a huge uprise in population around 2015, around that year, just because of tourism and just becoming a more of a well-known country. Kyrgyz and Kazakhs make up the majority of the population. With that being said, there are Russians, Uzbeks, Tajiks, Turks, and Ukrainians that are really like the main minorities. And the reason why I emphasize on Germans, there's actually a historical fact of, I don't know if anybody has heard of them, but the Germans from Russia. During the Nazi regime, a lot of Germans kind of immigrated towards Russia during their agricultural state, and they would be farmers or tradesmen, and they would go around Central America. And they're not as popular as most of the you know, like Russians or Uzbeks or anything like that, but they've become a very popularized culture around Central Asia. So kind of a little background there. And then just going off of what Dilnoza said, the first American university is established here in Bishkek. It's kind of outside of Bishkek, but it's relatively new, built in 1993, and they have total students are 2,000 students. It's pretty small. My high school is bigger than this university, so I was kind of surprised with that. But they are really big into international students. They're really big at promoting themselves and trying to get others to come and join. But they are highly acclaimed. They've had multiple awards and told to be one of the best universities around that area. And just a little bit kind of interior. They have a very modernized interior, very interesting. I just wanted to show you guys kind of like they have all the countries on the sides and kind of their, you know, I think they have a giant flag of all the republics on the other side. But yeah, you can see Andrew Kushkins is the AUCA president there, and he has a little video which I did post, so if you guys are interested you can watch his little video. But the education system in Kyrgyzstan is that it's very similar to what others were talking about. There's elementary, basic, secondary. There's 2 different secondaries, undergraduate, graduate, and doctorates, and the ages are very important. They did, I think Mary or Michelle mentioned that it is essential that they have to get to age 17 to get through most of their schooling. And then from there, you can decide if you want to go to college. And then I just wanted to add a little tidbit. Like Dilnoza mentioned, Netflix actually featured a show which has like these international games, not just soccer, basketball, you know, the regular games that we know. And they mention Kakburu, which is I guess Daily Mail considered the gruesome version of polo, which uses a dead carcass as their ball. And yes, the head is completely off, so we don't have to deal with the head. But yeah, the reason why this is a very popular game is that back then the natives or the tribes would protect their herds, whether that's their goats or their sheep, from wolves. And if they killed a wolf, they usually skin it and eat it themselves. But they don't know exact date, but they found a tribe that was kicking around a wolf and dragging it across with horses and stuff. And that's kind of how the tradition started. Kind of a weird idea, but it works. And now for generations on until now, you know, it's still going on. They play this game, and it consists of two teams of 12. They actually have more than 24 horses. I'm just saying each player has a horse. They actually have a lot more just in case the horses get injured or they're really fatigued or anything. They really care about their horses, and that's coming from all Central Asians. They love their horses. And yeah, it's a 60-minute period, and the carcass weighs around 70 to 77 pounds. It could be a little lighter, but they generally want to keep it in that range, which is really interesting. So here's some pictures from Netflix. You can kind of see, and there's like a stadium on the side. It's considered like an Olympic game. It's not the Olympics, obviously, but they really do care about their game. And then here I have some more information if you guys are more interested in the landscape. I think all of Central Asia is beautiful. It's magnificent. And there was this famous, critically acclaimed photographer, Albert Dross, who actually went to Kyrgyzstan and videoized everything and took photos, amazing photos. So if you guys are interested, you guys can click on that. I can even send you guys the link. Here's some photos of him, and he said it was one of the most eye-opening experience for him. He just really enjoyed it. It's a country that he's never ever really experienced. He experienced mountains up to the sea. So it was just a drastic change for him, not just the same things over and over again. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Does anybody have any questions?
You wanted to show the...
Oh yeah, actually, you're right. Let me, so
I have a question.
Oh yeah.
Back to your slide, you talked a little bit about Buzkashi, right?
Yeah.
And it said that it's a Kyrgyz or Kazakh sport.
So I put that down because today it's where most of the tournaments are held in those two countries, but they still play.
And it's actually...
Oh, what?
The Buzkashi, the word itself is Persian. Buz stands for goat. Kashidan means to drag. So it's also a very popular sport in Afghanistan and Tajikistan.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just got this from the book. So
just a little side note to throw, you know.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Yeah. It's Persian, right? You said? Yeah,
Buzkashi is a Persian word. Yep.
Oh wow. So can everybody see my screen a little bit? I have two videos that I wanted to show you. So this is kind of the game if you guys are kind of curious as to how they play it. I gave you just kind of a general background.
At the World Nomad Games 2018. It is day 3 of the games, and today we are in the Hippodrome. It kind of feels like a little bit like we're at a baseball game with our little baseball hats, and well, there's even popcorn being handed around and stuff, and like there's a lot of people here. We're waiting for the popcorn to start. I think that seems like an absolutely mental sport. So, are you excited, Anika? Let's go! Yay! This is one of the most exciting games of the whole event. It involves...
Sorry, let's just... Yeah. So you can kind of see kind of the concept. There are two goals. You have to drag the carcass over, and they typically push themselves off the horse because it's so heavy and drop it in. So it's a kind of a weird concept, but it's very touristy. Everybody from people around the world come to watch it. So it's really fascinating, and I really want to watch it in person. And this is the artist that I was talking about, the photographer that I was talking about. He is absolutely incredible. So I just wanted to show you kind of where I got that picture from. No. Let's start it. So this goes on for an additional 3 minutes, and I don't want to waste everyone's time, but it's just, if you guys want to continue watching it, you can. He also has like individual photos that you can look at. So yeah, does anybody have any questions for me?
So with respect to Wyoming and Central Asia, what would you just say, like, similarities? What people can find similar Wyoming cowboys if they want to travel and see Central Asia?
So this is how I kind of view it. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but they're
it's not only Kyrgyzstan, you can talk about Kazakhstan as well.
Yeah, I kind of base it off of Kazakhstan, and I think they have very similar regions, climate, and kind of how they're built, land masses. But in terms of temperature and kind of the ways of having mountain ranges to complete flat grounds is very similar to Wyoming, but the temperature in Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan is terrible. In the winter, it's cold, it's freezing. And I'm not saying Wyoming can't get cold, it's just not as equivalent. Wyoming has terrible winds. So I guess in terms of similarity with land and climate and stuff like that, they're very similar, but at the same time, they're very different, just kind of how they live. But I would say Central Asia is way more beautiful. This how they're structured. They have water, bodies of water near them. Wyoming doesn't. We have maybe rivers and streams, but we just don't have the equivalent to, you know, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and Tajikistan, just Central Asia in general. They're just, I don't know. I would visit in a heartbeat and see kind of the differences in person. But it just looked like, based off of CNN, how they described it, it's just an eye-opening experience, something just breathtaking. And I think the Central Asians really do care about their lands and their environment very seriously. And like I said, they care about their animals too. And at Netflix, they show kind of how they take care of their horses. Horses are really big in Central Asia. And I'm not at all saying that America didn't take care of it's just more urban based, you know, cities and towns and stuff like that. So we don't really get to see that side of that most Central Asians do experience themselves just living there.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dee. And then we have Turkmenistan.
Yes, Turkmenistan is up next. I'm gonna share my screen just in a second.
Look at you. You have Uzbek grandfather.
Oh yeah, I forgot to, well, yeah. So these are Uzbek figures. I'm back home in Azerbaijan and we have those. So I decided to put it in there. Okay, I'm gonna choose the virtual background first. Here it is. And, all right, gonna share my screen. Okay, so Turkmenistan. Turkmenistan is a country in the Central Asia region. It's located right there. It borders Caspian Sea, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Afghanistan, and Ashgabat and Iran. It is the second largest state in the Central Asia. The capital is Ashgabat, and it lies near the southern border with Iran. Yeah, and here are the beautiful pictures of Ashgabat and the people in Ashgabat. Turkmenistan is worldwide known for their carpets. They make famous carpets, famous ornaments too. Plov is their favorite dish, and they're known for their breads, for their food. And they have famous types of melons, which are called chakchakjo. Melons. They're very sweet, and they have their own holiday. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and let Michelle start the video that I sent the link of.
Okay, yeah, 1 second.
Yeah, and this will be some Turkmen music.
bir baştan çıkar halk duyar on dünya mülakattığın arkada sözdiyse aşk bulup akar şahan makul eyler tenattığın Biz Türkmenistan'ı taraflığın mekani eksilmez arahatlığın Vatanım bakisi onları Türkmenistan bir taraflığın mekani Vatanım bakisi darmadağını Türkmenistan bir taraflığın mekani
Okay, yeah, and that's basically that. So
Yeah, Michelle.
yeah.
All right. So just a couple of more facts about Turkmenistan. The president is Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov, and the education system is pretty similar to all of the other Central Asian countries. And it's one of the least visited countries in the world, which is unfortunate. And it has a visa regime for all of the other countries, even the surrounding countries. Yeah, so you would have to get a visa to visit it, and but it's safe to visit Turkmenistan, and I think I'm pretty sure they're welcoming. They welcome the tourists there. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So first of all, I would like, on behalf of our, I think, participants and everyone who is watching us right now, to thank you all being not, like being active and not to be scared to talk about those countries that you didn't even, visit yet. So we are really proud of you. And I hope you really don't mind when we did corrections or, we wanted to make sure that we clarify things about those countries. But this is very exciting to see that our American students are leading such, events, and they want to talk about those countries. They're really passionate about those countries. So with that, let's go ahead and see if we have any comments, any additions for about maybe specific countries or maybe the whole Central Asia, so that others can learn. And any participant, if you have any questions, please feel free to address.
I have a question.
Yes.
What do I need to have to travel to Turkmenistan as a Tajik citizen? Can I travel there safely?
Yes, you can travel there safely, but you would have to get a visa that costs $100. That will be it.
Oh, okay.
My big response would be calling to Turkmenistan embassy and consulate to make sure you clarify things before you go. Ask them what you need to have before you go. And as a Tajik citizen, what are the privileges to go and travel to Turkmenistan?
Because I heard that Tajikistan and Turkmenistan are not in a good relationship as of now. And they have blocked some of the transportation between those countries. The logistic companies are not doing well.
then definitely it's not a good time to go to Tajikistan. Jamshid, come over to Uzbekistan. We will be happy to have you. We just recently had the president of Tajikistan in Uzbekistan. We are brothers and sisters. We will be happy to host you in Uzbekistan.
I'm glad that Tajikistan and Uzbekistan are doing very well now. The border is open. People who have relatives on the other side of the border are traveling freely. They're doing trades, and that's actually very good for us. Between Tajiks and Uzbeks, I'm glad that that's happening.
Okay. Any other comments? Any other questions?
That's it. Just another comment. Habib Nurmagomedov is fighting right now, and I would love to go watch his fight. Is it okay if I leave the meeting?
Thank you, Jamshid. You're extraordinary student on this campus, you know, and we love you so much. You can go and watch Habib's fight. You're welcome.
All right. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you. Any other comments? Any other, you know, suggestions? Anything? I think we have a couple of faculty who are actually joining from Bukhara right now. Rana Zaripova, assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for sharing your videos and pictures today. Any comments?
You're welcome.
Any comments?
You're welcome. It's now 1 a.m. in Bukhara, so
yes.
I'm very glad to see you again. Thank you very much. And have you seen already the movie?
Yes, we already have shown
okay.
the movie. Yes, it was beautiful. Thank you so much for the support for the students. I think our students enjoyed watching. So thank you. Any other comments? Any other questions?
Hello, my name is Jacob. I'm a student here at the university. I'm studying religions with focus in Islam as well as Eastern religions. So that then obligates me to ask the question of how exactly is the religious life in these countries? From looking it up, most of them are Sunni. However, being from the former Soviet bloc, a very a-religious group, how did that affect these countries and how do they practice their religion and celebrate it today?
So do you have specific question to particular country or in general about Central Asia?
If I could ask each of the presenters this, if that would be all right.
That's okay, yeah, I guess.
So if I could ask each of you, from your research and all that, how does religion play a role?
I guess like, just so, you know, I know a little bit of like Kazakhs. They're mainly Muslims. I actually was born in a Muslim community. So I think in terms of Kazakhstan, Muslims are very influential there. I'm not sure about.
We're losing you. We're losing you. So I would, you know, I would just say let's kind of like ask us representative of those countries than the presenters. It would be unfair toward them that they are not even you know, they didn't visit and they weren't born in those countries. So is that Ahrar, would you like to say something about Pakistan?
Yes, it will be my pleasure to give an answer to this question. Thank you, Jacob, for an interesting question. It's very important. I think it makes a curiosity by many foreigners about how it's going in this region, particularly in Uzbekistan, as in I would say, I might be wrong, but most probably not. Most of the 5 countries in Central Asia, they perceive themselves as secular countries. For sure, Uzbekistan is. Religion is separated from the executive chamber of government by constitution, by the law. Meanwhile, due to our very rich historical heritage of promoting religion and religious scholars in the region, in Uzbekistan, we pay a great attention to educating religious leaders. We divided religious schools in Uzbekistan to several degrees as public schools. We have junior schools. We have also higher education universities, and also we offer doctorate degrees in our in religious universities across Uzbekistan. We have very great schools of Sahih and religious studies. And for the last 3 years, we have established Center of Civilizations and great Center for Religious Studies in Uzbekistan. And for the Islam, we have been also promoting international cooperation of Islamic scholars in order to come and do their research in Uzbekistan, because Uzbekistan is considered to be one of the jewels of Islamic world, and we had great scholars in the region. We do not consider them as an Uzbekistan scholars, but we consider them as an regional scholars like Imam Bukhari, whose hadith are the second most valuable after the Quran, and it's studied broadly all across the world. And we have special Institute of Islamic Studies. We have University of Islamic Studies. We have separate centers for Islamic studies. And we implemented specific criteria for our imams, religious leaders that are serving in mosques, to get their own education, and they have to pass exams, they have to get their certificates, they have to get their degrees, and depending on the level of their serving, they need medium, high, like not university, but a certificate, like it's like A levels, and then a university degree, whereas and in some degrees they need master's degree and doctoral levels, depending on the positions they are holding. In this regard, we understand that considering Uzbekistan is a over 90% of Muslim majority country, we have to develop a school, we have to develop a system and maintain that system to give enlightened Islam, to give the real essence of the religion, so that people will not lack of the knowledge, and they will not misinterpret the religious studies. We have seen in the region, unfortunately, we had catastrophic influences of radical Islamists, and terroristic attacks happened in the region in all the countries without exception in past. And in order to avoid that kind of movements and misinterpretation, we certainly believe that government shouldn't hinder from religious studies, but it should facilitate the proper enlightened Islam, the true essence of the religion, which makes which gives the equal opportunity for everyone to practice their own religious freedom. And in saying that, it's a natural that this for 5 countries would be facilitating Islamic studies, but it doesn't mean that the other religions are, I would say, in a disadvantaged position. We strongly perceive our region as a multicultural, multinational, multi-religious country, and we create equal opportunities for all representatives of nationalities and religions. We have, in Uzbekistan, we celebrate different cultural events, or different religious events of different nationalities and people. And over the last year, even State Department, U.S. State Departments that usually give their concerns on religious freedom, they say that Uzbekistan is doing great progress in ensuring religious freedom for all. So in this sense, I think it's one of the acute issues, one of the important aspects in creating sustainable and progressing country in the region. So religion is an indivisible part of the process, and we have to facilitate it. We have to give the more educated, enlightened religion to all. And Miss Rano Zaripova, representing, as I understood, from Bukhara, right? Bukhara is capital of Islamic civilization. It's and it's not only word. It is because Bukhara traditionally has hosted very bright-minded and very noble scholars, scholars of all times in terms of studying religion. And we are reviving that historical heritage in the region and making it hub for religious education.
Yes, sir. That's great to hear. And honestly, from what I've read and all that, Uzbekistan has been great with religious freedoms and allowing people to practice. That being said, you have some of the most beautiful mosques I have seen by far. I will say that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Burhanov, and for asking questions, man. So I think it's important, I would agree that, you know, Islam has been the dominant religion in Central Asia, but we always should think about, I think your question is coming from the history, right? Because historically, you know, that we had Arab Caliphate, then we had Russians coming to Central Asia, but we haven't been calling ourselves as Central Asia at the time. We were calling ourselves as Mawara Nahar. So the time changes, the history, and all those things. I think when we look like personally at the Central Asian people right now, you will be like confused. Yes, you're Muslim, but then you're not covered. You're not wearing hijab, right? For example. So I think it clearly shows that religious freedom is, you know, working in those countries. And as Mr. Burhanov said, we do celebrate all other religions. You know, we respect. We have churches in Tashkent, for example, in Uzbekistan, and exactly in all those Central Asian countries. I wish we had participants, experts of those countries, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Kazakhstan participating like in today's event, so they can also bring their perspectives and clarify those things. But it is important, and you know, there are lots of things happening right now. And one part, as me as a being educational, like, you know, from education perspective, I wanted to mention for those of you who are really interested in the programs, specifically to study the religion or to study specific Central Asian country, please apply for Fulbright Scholars Program. It's an amazing, great program for you, to support you to go and study and do in-depth analysis of those countries. And our presenters, you're all undergraduate students right now. I know your passion, do your best. This is very just initial stage where you're just learning, and you got the secondary resources to talk about those countries, right? An amazing job, thank you for that. But I really hope that, you know, being American and using those opportunities will open the doors, but also look for those opportunities Mr. Burhanov talked about. Right now, I know personally that Uzbekistan is looking for applicants, and they're also working on scholarship opportunities as well for students who want to come and visit and study in those countries. Ranapa, any additions you want to clarify or maybe add something? I think you're muted. I'm sorry, we cannot hear you. Let me unmute you. Can I? No. You have to unmute yourself. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, and I just want to add that we have got a lot of mosques, and it's a museum and like museum city. And I would like to talk about Bahauddin Naqshband, who is the Imam of the Naqshband Tariqat. He was born in the year of 1317 in the village of Qasr al-Arifin. And I'm looking for you some beautiful pictures of that mosque. And it's he was born, as I said, and after he mastered the Sharia sciences at the age of 18, he kept company with Sheikh Muhammad Samosi. He was master of traditions in Central Asia at that time. After the later his death, he followed Sheikh Amir Al, who continued and perfected his training in Ilm al-Quran. It's the science of Quran. And Ilm al-Zikr, the science of remembrance. Bahauddin Naqshband performed Hajj 3 times, after which he resided in Merv and Bukhara. Towards the end of his life, he went back to settle in his native village, Qasr al-Arifin. Bahauddin Naqshband's teaching changed the hearts of seekers from darkness to light. He continued to teach his students the knowledge of the oneness of God, in which he preceders had specialized. When Bahauddin Naqshband entered his final illness, he locked himself up into his room. Wave after wave of his followers began to visit him. He died on a Monday night in 1388. He was buried in his garden as he requested the succeeding kings of Bukhara took care of his school and mosque by expanding them. It's the holy place where we always go, and mostly it's like a tradition to we have got some a lot of half pier, we call it 7 like piers, how to say it, like holy places, 7 holy places where you can come and visit yourself. It's reconstructed and become more beautiful. It's the places where you can go and pray, and of course to visit the real, there are a lot of youth as well who going, and there are a lot of libraries where you can visit and read the Quran and other holy books. So it's we mostly go as excursion as well with our university students. We have some a lot of students as well who works there, and they can share their experience as well. There are a lot of tourists coming every day, and just now it's in pandemic time. It's just we're closed for time, but now it's opening and becoming as usual, working for us, for people who want to visit these holy places and to know their history. So
awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, as you can see, Jacob, you not only you can just read about those things, but you can actually go visit those.
Yeah, of course. Welcome to Bukhara.
We have Pahlavan Mahmud. He's one of the famous, also a person who was like Avliya, a holy person. And we have his maqbara. You can go and visit, read about him. He wrote beautiful ruba'is that I've been reading last week during the Uzbek language day. And you can learn not only about the language, the culture, but as you said, the religion, and actually go and touch and read and see those things. Any other comments? Clarifying questions or follow-up questions, Jacob?
I just want to say thank you. Alhamdulillah. So.
Rahmat. So just to add a quick note, we didn't have much time. Of course, we would like you all to attend our events that we're doing, Central Asian Awareness Day, or like specific countries when we celebrate Nowruz. We bring from Uzbekistan scholars, singers, dancers, and we have guest speakers. If you want to learn more about, each country, please try to come to our events. At the University of Wyoming, I'm doing my best to bring books to the libraries about our countries. Personally, I do have a couple of wonderful books that were given to me by the Uzbek government, prominent scholars and thinkers. Feel free to ask, borrow, because those books are not sold on Amazon. You're welcome to borrow, read about religion, read about the scholars. I would just say that I'm not saying we're all representing Uzbekistan today, and I'm so thankful for the embassy for supporting and joining, and actual professors from Uzbekistan joining, and me personally being here, being Uzbek, representing our country. I just would like to say more about those countries since we're representing these countries. We are very proud of Central Asia being this beautiful treasure place where the Silk Road and all our avliyolarimiz, otalarimiz, bobolarimiz, we call them Babur, Alishir Navoiy, Ulugh Bek, Khwarazmi, All those people, if you want to read about them, what they have done terrific work. If you try to compare them to European scholars like Galilei, Ulugh was sitting on the same table with Galilei, saying that we have 365 days. And he built his first observatory in Samarkand. You're not only just reading and you know, kind of looking at this, you can go explore and see how it was done. So I think we're very proud of being and representing those places, not just because we want to say that it's beautiful. No, don't believe us. Just go visit, explore, learn about those countries, and do your best. Of course, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, and Tajikistan has their own beautiful history. If you're in particular looking for specific, you know, places, maybe scholars, there are lots of things to read about, learn about, and they're all beautiful. People are wonderful. What makes Central Asia beautiful and nice, that we're all very nice, kind, and we love guests. We love guests. We want to be hospitable. In any of those countries, when you visit, you feel that, you know, atmosphere. You feel that, you know, uniqueness. So with that, any other questions? If you have any questions, feel free to ask us. Even presenters, if you have any questions, please, because you were doing just secondary, you know, research on your own. But if you have any other specific questions, feel free to ask. Specifically, we have today lots of people from Uzbekistan.
If you don't mind, I would like to give a small comment. Well, I would like to express my great appreciation for all participants, especially Dee, to make this beautiful presentations. We really value, I would say, all my knowing that my colleagues from other 4 countries, embassies here in DC, they would also love to hear about your presentations, to hear how you're presenting their countries. And I would say that this is the region in the world, I would say, this is the most, I would say, unexplored region in the world in terms of current realities. And it has the biggest untapped potential for further studies. And it is the only region in the world that is not brought to the world as it should be, but also it has one of the richest history in the world. There are no any division by country. It is the common history and heritage doesn't belong to a particular country or city. It belongs to the whole Central Asian states. And now the Central Asian countries have never been so united, so under one roof, that I mean, since their independence. And now it is one of the unique times for doing research, for studying the country, and for bringing more attention to this region. The whole leaders of the Central Asian countries, they are now very friendly. I'm not sure about the comments that was said by our other participant about different issues between our countries, but from my point of view, based on the tendency of the last 3-4 years, seeing the movement of all 5 Central Asian heads to one direction, I can say without any hesitation that now Central Asia is one of the most friendly regions in the world. They have very good relations between each other. They are very friendly. In most of the countries, they don't have any visa regimes. And now it is a great time for any students to visit, to study, to explore. And our tasks as an embassy representatives here is to welcome, facilitate, and host you in Uzbekistan. Thank you very much once again, Dilnoza, for organizing this event and for all participants to making a great contribution.
Thank you so much, Mr. Burhana, for your excellent additions. I think it's valuable because, you know, this is a type of discussion event that we want our, you know, students to know about, to learn about, to discuss and see, yes, where we need to grow, where we need to learn more about those things. And as you said, I would just want to say that, yes, proudly, all those countries, as you ladies all see, whenever we had done big events on campus, Turkmen reporters, Uzbek reporters, reporters, Tajik reporters, Kazakh reporters, Kyrgyz reporters. They just take this event and say, in Wyoming, they're celebrating about, you know, Central Asian Awareness Day. In Wyoming, they're learning about Turkmen language. In Wyoming, they're learning about Kazakh language. You know, they're very proud, and that shows how friendly Central Asia is, and everyone in Central Asia will welcome you with wonderful food. And before we, you know, finish our event, it went a little bit longer than we expected due to questions. Let's listen to one of beautiful song that was, you know, sang by Farooq Zakirov, Yalla, one of the, you know, famous groups in the history of, you know, the Central Asia, who, you know, sings in Russian. And I think you will all enjoy his song.
Вместо крепкого вина я вам музыку сыграю. Здесь всем нравится она. На востоке, на востоке. Что за небо без луны? На востоке, на востоке. Что за жизнь без чайханы? Что за жизнь без чайханы? Дело идет по кругу, аксакалы смотрят в мир. Рады гостю, рады другу, здесь застолье, но не мир. На востоке, на востоке, что за небо без луны? На востоке, на востоке, что за жизнь без чайханы? На востоке, на востоке, что за небо без луны? На востоке, на востоке, что за жизнь без чайханы? Хоть бывает здесь не тесно, чайхана, ты чудо-рай, чтобы песня стала песней, с нами вместе напевай. На востоке, на востоке, что за жизнь без чайханы? На востоке, на востоке, что за небо без луны? На востоке, на востоке, что за жизнь без чайханы? Что за жизнь без чайханы?
Thank you all. I hope you enjoyed this beautiful song, which talks about chayhana. Every Central Asian region has its own chayhana. And this is, I just wanted to show you, this is little cultural, uniqueness of Uzbeks or other people in Central Asia. They drink tea. This is teapot, beautiful teapot made, in like Wadi, we call Fergana valleys, beautiful. We have Samarkand, Bukhara also making those pialas and, chinaks, and we usually drink tea. Tea is one of the important part of, our culture. Everyone drinks tea. We have our own black and green teas that we, also import and do in Samarkand as well. So any other questions? If you don't have any questions, I think we would love to finish this event. With that, I really encourage you to read more about, Central Asian regions, learn more about from, those students. We never had lots of students coming specifically to the University of Wyoming. We would love to have also Uzbek or Kazakh, Kyrgyz, Turkmen, Tajik students who will be studying at the University of Wyoming and share their culture, share their knowledge about their countries. We would love to, have them. So, and you all welcome to, getting your scholarships, your, fellowships, travel and learn about those parts of the world.
Something. Would you like something?
Virtually tea party, right? Tea party, that would be great.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much. Rahmat kattakon qatnashganinglar uchun. Aqrorbek, Zaripova, rahmat kattakon qo'shimcha ma'lumotlarni.
Sizga ham rahmat.
Rahmat kattakon. So, спасибо всем. На этом мы заканчиваем наш маленький праздник, так называемый. И увидимся снова в дальнейшем. Пока-пока. Пока.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.